the forbidden gospel that rewrote Jesus and the Bible's response. John versus Thomas. In 1945, a jar buried in the Egyptian desert was uncovered, revealing ancient text hidden away for over 1,500 years. Among them was the Gospel of Thomas, a book full of secret sayings that painted a completely different picture of Jesus. For decades, historians have noticed a strange, haunting similarity between this lost gospel and the biblical Gospel of John. But were they preaching the same message, or were they locked in a silent theological war? The common ground. At first glance, John and Thomas seem to breathe the same mystical air. They both reject the old school, end of the world fire and brimstone. Instead, they focus on a radical idea, spiritual awakening right here, right now. In the Gospel of Thomas, salvation comes from decoding hidden knowledge. The very first line reads, "Whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not taste death." Turn to the Gospel of John and you hear a beautiful, striking echo. "Now this is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God." Both writers obsess over the cosmic battle between light and darkness. Both tell you that the divine is something you experience inside your soul, not just through laws and rituals. But if you look closer, the similarities end. In fact, John might have been written to shut Thomas down. The clash of flesh and spirit. The biggest fracture between these two worlds is how they view reality. The Gnostics, the movement tied to Thomas, believed the material world was a trap. The human body was a prison of flesh, a mistake created by a lesser, flawed deity. Thomas captures this perfectly, quoting Jesus as saying he wonders how this great wealth has made its home in this poverty, meaning the divine spirit trapped in a dirty human body. But the author of John refuses to let the physical world be demonized. In his first chapter, John throws down a theological gauntlet. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. John doesn't see the body as a prison. He sees it as a temple. Later in his gospel, John even has Jesus tell his followers they must literally eat his flesh and drink his blood. To a strict Gnostic, this wasn't just shocking, it was repulsive. Secrets versus public truth. Then comes the question of elite status. The Gospel of Thomas opens by calling itself a collection of secret sayings. It's a book for the spiritual elite, an exclusive club for those clever enough to decipher the clues. John completely shatters this exclusivity. When Jesus is on trial for his life, facing the high priest, he looks his accusers in the eyes and declares, "I have spoken openly to the world. I said nothing in secret." For John, the truth isn't a puzzle for the intellectual elite. It's a public rescue mission for everyone. The ultimate checkmate, doubting Thomas. Many modern scholars, including historians Elaine Pagels, believe the author of John actually had a text like the Gospel of Thomas in front of him while writing. And John left a brilliant narrative, Checkmate, inside his text to prove his point. Think about the famous story of doubting Thomas. It only appears in the Gospel of John. Why? In the Gnostic tradition, Thomas is the ultimate hero of secret spiritual insight. But in John's Gospel, Thomas is the one who doubts the physical resurrection. John forces the hero of the Gnostics to put his fingers into Jesus' physical bleeding wounds. The message from John was clear. Your secret, purely spiritual Jesus isn't enough. True faith requires embracing the physical reality of the resurrection. Conclusion. The Gospel of John didn't advance Gnosticism, it intercepted it. It borrowed its beautiful mystical language of light and spirit, but anchored it firmly to the physical world. While Thomas offered a secret path inward, John pointed outward to a public historical event, shaping the course of Western history forever.